Sapiens is a book written by Yuval Noah Harari. In Chapter 1, he traces the evolution of humans, starting in East Africa around 2.5 million years ago, when a new genus, Homo, first emerged. Around 2 million years ago, one of these early humans, Homo erectus, became the first to leave Africa, spreading into North Africa, Europe, and Asia. Since surviving in tropical Asia required very different adaptations from surviving in snowy northern Europe, these scattered populations evolved into distinct species. Harari outlines 3 of these species. In Europe and Western Asia, the Neanderthals evolved, stockier and more muscular than us, built for the cold. In East Asia, Homo erectus itself endured for close to 2 million years. And on the island of Java in Indonesia, Homo soloensis lived. Meanwhile, on the nearby island of Flores, an isolated population shrank dramatically over generations, becoming Homo floresiensis, nicknamed the Hobbit, standing barely a meter tall. Until about 10,000 years ago, multiple human species lived alongside one another across Africa, Europe, and Asia. Our own species, Homo sapiens, Latin for wise man, was distinguished from the others chiefly by brain size. The earliest humans, 2.5 million years ago, had brains of around 600 cubic centimeters. Modern Homo sapiens carry brains of 1,200 to 1,400 cubic centimeters. We still don't fully know what drove the selection for ever larger brains, because brains are expensive. A resting Homo sapiens brain burns through 25% of the body's total energy, compared to just 8% in other apes. To pay for this, sapiens diverted resources away from muscle and into brain power, which is part of why we're so much weaker than a chimpanzee of the same size. The other defining human adaptation, walking upright, came at a cost too. It narrowed the pelvis, making childbirth more dangerous. As a result, childbirth has always been hazardous for human females, and human babies are born comparatively premature, helpless and fully dependent on adults to survive. From around 300,000 years ago, Homo erectus, Neanderthals, and Homo sapiens were all using fire daily. Its most important use wasn't warmth or light. It was cooking. Foods like wheat, rice, and potatoes are barely digestible raw, but cooking unlocked them as staple foods while also killing germs and parasites. The payoff was huge. A chimpanzee spends around 5 hours a day just eating. Humans can get by on 1. The rest of the chapter turns to the sapiens' migration out of Africa into Eurasia, and the question of what happened when sapiens met these other human species. Did they interbreed, or did they fight? The evidence suggests both. Genetic studies show 1 to 4% of the DNA of non-African humans traces back to Neanderthals, and in Aboriginal Australians up to 6% traces back to Denisovans. But Harari argues that alongside this interbreeding, there was likely also fierce competition for resources, and in places outright extermination of other human species by our own.